Shalom, Sevil Mikayılova, member of the Azerbaijan parliament.
Salam.
Welcome to Israel. This
Thank
is your
you.
first time in Israel, right?
Yes, this is my first visit to Israel, a friendly country, to Azerbaijan, and it's nice to be here.
How's the visit? How are the people? Tell us about your first encounters.
Nice. And from the very moment arriving in this beautiful country, so I felt this warmness from the people, from friends which I met. So today and tomorrow we are having events scheduled to commemorate the victims of Khojaly genocide, which was committed by Armenian aggressors 30 years ago, 1992, in a small town of Azerbaijan. And now history sees the 30th year of this tragedy, and we will commemorate this tragic event here in Israel as well.
Now, tell us about the relations, the status of the relations between Israel and Azerbaijan. We all celebrate the Abraham Accords, but here we have a Muslim country with relations with Israel. What's the status at this point? There's no embassy of the Azerbaijans here, but there is an Israeli embassy there.
I should say that Azerbaijani-Israeli relations were almost on the high level, despite of the facts that you mentioned, because we have historic roots. Our relations are not just only between the two states, but we have historic roots. As you know, there is a very ancient area called Krasnaya Sloboda, Red Sloboda in Azerbaijan, which we could preserve for centuries and come to this area. And we are very proud of our history. We are very proud of our relations with Jewish people. And even now they live, they create, they are the equal members of the society in Azerbaijan. And we celebrate all holidays, irrespective it is traditional, religious, or something else.
Also, really on the ground, like yes. The Muslim citizens of Azerbaijan feel okay, and the Jews feel okay with their Muslim neighbors?
Right. So we have synagogue in Azerbaijan, which is really one of the very sacred places for Jews. And again, we preserve these values, and we share everything.
So when you see tensions between Muslims, between Arabs and Jews throughout the centuries, how do you look at it? You say, guys, it's a waste of time. There's no reason for it.
Really, it's a sad history. I know that the news about the clashes in this area, they are very painful for us, for all to hear that happened something against humanity, against people. But we do believe that one day, so peace, durable peace will come to this land as well, and people here will live in full understanding and respecting each other.
Now you mentioned war, you mentioned loss of life. Of course, the Azerbaijan-Armenian war. At this point, Azerbaijan is victorious?
Yes. 2020 saw the Second Karabakh War, which ended in victory of Azerbaijan. So the president of Azerbaijan, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Ilham Aliyev, took a bright victory, and he could liberate the Azerbaijani territory from Armenian occupation. So, UN Security Council has issued 4 resolutions in 1992, 1993, which demanded withdrawal of Armenian forces, unconditional withdrawal of Armenian forces from the Azerbaijani territory. But unfortunately, over 30 years, Armenia denied these resolutions. He didn't implement these resolutions, although it had international obligations. But at the end, this irresponsibility of Armenia led to the war. And the result is obvious. So we won the war, and we are grateful to our partners, to all other friendly and fraternal countries who supported Azerbaijan's just position.
So that brings us back to the main topic of the Israel-Azerbaijan relations. Was Israel involved in the war? Did Israel support Azerbaijan?
Israel supported Azerbaijan's just position, so the political support which we received from Israel is very important. So this is the support to territorial integrity of Azerbaijan. So it means that they recognize the territory of Azerbaijan. For us, this is the basic principle to have relationship with any other country.
But how about weapons and technology? We know that there was Israeli weapons and technology in the war.
Yes, this is bilateral relations. This is bilateral agreements. So previously, even the Azerbaijani president has always said that for a country whose 20% of territory is under occupation and who is under aggression from neighboring Armenia, it's very important to have strong army. So, and Israeli weapons, of course, helped. And Israel was one of these countries who supplied under the contract weapons to Azerbaijan, but we had the same contract with other countries, so it was very important for us to have this strong army which could restore justice, which could help us implement the UN Security Council's 4 resolutions, and it helped. And now, after the victory, when justice was restored, when international law was implemented, we are very grateful to all our partners, to all our friends, friendly countries, and of course, Israel.
Okay, Sevil Mikayılova, member of the Azerbaijan Parliament. You're here on an official visit. I hope you'll also come back for a more family-oriented tourist visit, so you can see really the sights of the country. Thank you very much for joining us.
Of course, one day I will be back and we'll see. Thank you for your invitation.